Hey, thanks for tuning in. It's Miguel Lebron from Miguel Lebron Coaching, and you're listening to Strategy Rewind Podcast. Thank you so much for being connected here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about today's topic, which has to deal with saying no. So much fear around the word no. Before I jump into that, let me talk to you a bit about our sponsor, United Marriage Encounter. You know, recently they had an event which was called Fighting the Drift. And in it, they talked about the drift that we feel often in our marriage, in our spiritual life, in our emotional life, in our economical life, the drift. And this is because we don't set an anchor. We're bringing on so many things from past relationships or from our childhood, things that we refuse to acknowledge. And of course, in a relationship, the things that you do not confess are the things you cannot confront. It was a powerful event that my wife and I enjoyed, and they've also got more events coming up, including the Marriage Encounter, which is a weekend event where you and your significant other can enjoy a moment of really diving into powerful communication strategies and tactics. UnitedMarriageEncounter.com is the website. Please consider clicking on the link that you see in our show notes. Again, UnitedMarriageEncounter.com. And they focus specifically on providing marriages with the necessary skills and tools to maintain healthy communication. Again, UnitedMarriageEncounter.com. They are the show sponsor and an amazing organization. Too often, I see individuals that are waiting for the perfect time. The moment where everything is peaceful, the moment where everything is okay, the moment where there is no problems, the moment where there is no trials, no tribulations, no doubt, where everything is just flourishing, and they say that is going to be the right time to pull the trigger. And oftentimes we hear this. People say, I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting for the right time. The truth is that the right time isn't going to arrive. In fact, the right time, I'll tell you when it was. The right time was yesterday, but because yesterday passed, you should just take the opportunity now to pull the trigger and make the move. Make the decision you've been procrastinating on. The reason procrastination is so dangerous is because every moment that passes changes your perspective. And so the perspective you had then is not going to be the perspective you have now. And the perspective you have now is not going to be the perspective you have later. Because of this, the longer you procrastinate and you delay on what it is the inevitable, which is you making the decision to live out your greatness, the longer you put that off, what's going to happen is that by the time you say yes, so many changes will have happened mentally, emotionally, physically, let alone changes would have taken place around you. But for some reason, getting a no seems scary. Even worse, we are frightened to give no as an answer. We are scared to hear the word no. We are scared to say the word no. It's as if by getting no as an answer or even giving that as an answer, everything will go downhill from here. Everything will be destroyed. The fact is, sometimes we need to get a no. Sometimes we need a no as an answer in our lives. So why are we so scared? Why are we so scared of saying no or hearing no? Because it is that fear that paralyzes us from actually being able to take the leap, to take the next step. We often wonder, what about if I get rejected? What if they say no? What if they don't like me? What if people make fun of me? What if I trip and fall? The truth of the matter is, you're only making an assumption. You're already jumping to a conclusion without any formal evidence. The truth is, if you're going to waste or invest all that energy in jumping to a conclusion and making an assumption, you might as well assume that everything will come out all right. You might as well invest your energy assuming this is the year of greatness, that this is the year, the moment, the day, the hour, the second you've been waiting for. If you think that everything is going to go bad, then you're going to do something to yourself. And it is that you're going to live in anxiety. Anxiety is using today's energy to solve problems that may or may not appear tomorrow. And this is the issue. where we are so frightened of the negative result that may or may not happen that we begin to believe it will happen, and thus we never take the next step. We never do the necessary work. Worst, I've seen individuals in leadership that think that because they got a no as an answer, that that's the end of their leadership. They assume that the fact that they have a great idea, that that's the ideal move to make. The fact of the matter is that you bring your idea to the table and you work it out, and that idea needs to be anchored by the vision, the mission, and the values of the organization, of the team. So if you're in leadership and you've just finished hearing the word no at your proposal, that isn't the end of your leadership. The question is, how do you lead the ship even in the middle of this situation, even in the middle of rejection? Lead the ship even in that moment, not to think that it's all over. So I learned something very early on in my life, and it is that the word no is a powerful word. Not only when you hear it, although it may not feel good, but also when you say the word no. So let's talk about that moment when you hear the word no. If in that moment when you hear the word no, you decide that it's all over, then you've given more power and you have negatively used the word no. You see, the word no means new opportunity. That's what the word no means. So when you ask, can I do this task? Can I work on this project? Can I get this raise? And they say no, that isn't a door being closed. That's a brand new opportunity. One of the biggest skills that we can develop is problem solving. But the only way that you can develop problem solving as a skill is if you find yourself in problem. And for many individuals, it's a problem to hear the word no. So I challenge you that when you hear the word no, that you not think of it as the end of your leadership, or that you not think of it as the end of your journey, or that you not think of it as the end of all possibilities, but rather that you would begin to explore new opportunities. I got to know now, but how about if we move the conversation forward? What do I have to do to get a yes? What do I have to do to get to where I want to be? And at the same time, saying the word no is such a powerful thing that you should not surrender. Too often we say yes. We say yes to fear. We say yes to doubt. We say yes to being stuck in the same place. I mean, stagnation is the worst. And yet, we often say yes to that instead of saying no. So the question now becomes, when should I say no? You should say no when you know you won't give your absolute best. You should say no when you understand you will not give your absolute best. The idea of pleasing or helping is sometimes so addicting. It's addicting enough to keep someone saying yes. But when we say yes, we are committing to see it through, to actually put into action a plan. So before you say yes, before you commit, ask yourself, will I be able to give the best of me in this? Whatever the endeavor is, whatever the task may be, whatever the project may be, whatever the offer that is being presented to you, are you about to give your absolute best? And if the answer is no, then say no. Remember that no today could lead to a new opportunity tomorrow. And so just because this nice opportunity came today, if it does not align with your vision, if it does not align with the most effective use of your gifts and talents, why would you settle? Because it's an opportunity. Not every opportunity that knocks is an opportunity for you to actually accept. If you're not going to be able to give your absolute best, why say yes? Why say yes? If you feel like you are being used or your gift is being exploited, unfortunately, there are some bad leaders out there. And some sucky friends as well. So both of which may attempt to bully you, shame you, or guilt you in just saying yes. However, if you feel as though you are being used, meaning the offer is not mutually beneficial, then don't be afraid to say no. You see, in the same way that you should not be afraid to hear the word no, you should also be brave enough to hear the word no coming out of your mouth. Being used as a pawn or having someone exploit your gifts for the gain of their own personal pleasure is no fun, and it helps no one. At least it does not help you in your growth and advancing in your purpose. No matter how great the project is, no matter how the event is, no matter the moment, no matter how awesome the moment may seem, the truth of the matter is that there will be a bitter taste in your mouth because you know you could have done better, you could have been better, you could have actually involved in something that made you better. Call it a gut feeling, call it intuition, or whatever you would like. But when you get that feeling, just say no. That feeling that lets you know this isn't for me. Do not be afraid to say no. We often forget that our own body will tell us when it's time to fight or to flight. Our body will tell us when it's time to stick around and when it's time to say adios. We just have to listen. So if you get that feeling that this isn't something that you want to be a part of, no matter how great that offer at that moment may seem, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to say no. And don't be afraid to hear the words no, even if they're coming out of your mouth. You see, we sometimes wait for this perfect moment where everything is okay, where everything is calm, where everything is relaxed, where there is no stress, where everything is just smooth in the world. And the truth is that those moments will not come. So what I wanted to talk to you today on this episode is that if you find yourself feeling stuck, or maybe you find yourself feeling as though you're not moving forward and all you're hearing is a no, 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 no. Number one, don't be afraid to hear the word no. But number two, take a moment to reevaluate why you're hearing so many no's. It may be possible that you said something that led you to a dead end and not a new opportunity. The fear of putting one foot in front of the other paralyzes so many individuals because change is part of growth. And in order for there to be true growth, we not only have to be desiring and wanting to use our gifts, we not only have to be wanting and desiring to serve, we not only have to be wanting and desiring to have an impact, but also we should not be afraid of saying no when something doesn't align with our why. Because that why, that's going to be the anchor. So even in the moments when individuals say no to you, you'll only see it as a new opportunity to actually be able to use your gifts. And in the moment when someone offers you something that inside of you, I mean, you got that spidey sense that's telling you this ain't it, you also won't be afraid to say no. Because you understand that it's better to say no than to say yes and commit to something that, number one, you won't be able to give your absolute best to, but number two, you'll also be missing out on an amazing opportunity. The question that should be answered is what's next? That's the question. After this podcast episode, what's next? What are you going to do next? What are you going to do? You have all the information, all the tools, all the skills, and I know that you're ready and eager to take the jump, to take the leap, to put one foot in front of the other and live out your greatness. I know you are, but the question is, what's next? Well, here's what's next. you need to be able to click on that link in the show notes or head over to miguellebron.com, whichever is easier for you. But you need to do it. That's the easiest step. Why? Because there you'll be able to set up a free 30-minute strategy session with me. I'm a personal growth strategist. That means that I work with individuals like you to implement a strategy so that you can have a breakthrough moment and live out your greatness. I know you're ready. So this is the moment. Don't hesitate. Take the next step. No. Take the next leap into your breakthrough moment.